What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What you gonna do when they show up in black suits on your street in army boots? And they'll silence you. What you gonna say when they strip your rights away and the tax man makes you pay for every bit of sweat you've had today? We don't need to run and hide. We won't be pushed off to the side. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you
How quick did you get through your 50-gram pouch of tobacco?
I bought it on a Saturday and got rid of it on a Tuesday. But that's because I'm not sure it was actually 50 grams and it definitely wasn't Golden Virginia.
No?
No.
Well, what was it?
I don't know, but it wasn't Golden Virginia. No
Yeah, but
way,
which
shape or form.
Which country was it from?
I don't know, I didn't even look.
Was it the one with the weird packaging?
It had like the hologram on it and everything.
I remember I opened one up the other day and it was like transparent on the inside of the sleeve. Like you could see a pattern for it. And that
Yeah, mine was a bit like that.
Yeah. That didn't taste very nice either.
No.
Yeah, but it probably is real, but it's from a country where they just put shit in it, Scott.
Well, it didn't stop me going back to get one, and I made a complete tit of myself.
How did you do that?
Well, I went in and this particular establishment. It was
You buy it from a shop?
Yes.
Under the counter?
Oh, yes. And I went in to get another one, and the queue was huge. And for some reason, I was like, nah, I had shopping bags with me. That's why I was like, I'm not getting in a fucking queue. I'm going to speak to this guy over there. Because, you know, there's usually like one guy just stood by the drinks counter, like watching people.
Oh, yeah. Now I know where this story is going. You're being dodgy already. Like, I know what you're going to say.
So I went straight up to this guy and was like, excuse me, mate, do you have any more of those 50-gram tobacco pouches? He just looked at me like, what? I was like, you know, the tobacco. Do you think I work here?
No, really?
I was like, no, what? Huh? And he was like, no, I'm just waiting for my mate who's in the queue. I don't work here, dude.
Was he Asian?
Yes.
Oh, dear, Scott.
And I literally, my mouth dropped. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And then I didn't even get in the queue. I just turned around and walked out.
Straight out of the shop, yeah.
I was mortified.
I've done that once when obviously you get a certain type of person coming in, you know, taxi driver. There's typical taxi driver look, and a lot of the times they got the headset thing on the ear,
Yeah.
so they can talk and all this. You know, got hands free all the time. And this one guy just burst into the pub, and then he was like, "Oi mate, oi mate," and then because he was so anxious to like get my attention, I just assumed it. So I was like, "Oh, who's the taxi for?" And he was like this black dude. He was like, "What?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Oh.
Very similar situation.
I think I did it once as well with.
God damn it.
I remember I did one time. There was a. I've done it before that. Back in the day when people used to walk around selling DVDs in pubs, they'd always be like skinny Chinese dudes or ladies with big bags, and they'd walk into places. And I remember one time some dude just walked in, and I'd had a string of them that week, and I was like, "Dude, I do not want your DVDs," and he was like, "I'm here to meet a friend." And as soon as he spoke, I knew I got it wrong. Because usually when you talk to these DVDs, they'll be like, DVD?
Yeah.
You want DVD?
They're so quiet. They walk around trying not to be noticed.
Yeah.
Flashing you fake DVDs. Oh, God. I just walked out and I literally shook my head for about 5 minutes. Like, what is wrong with you? So what? If you're Asian, you're stood by a drinks cooler in a Londis, say. That means, oh my God, Scott.
Yeah, usually they're doing something. Like they might be moving something about. Or
His stare threw me off. He had like a bouncer's stare, and he had his arms crossed, and it was like he was checking people out.
I'll tell you something, man. If someone had filmed that on their phone, you could be the most hated person in the Sun newspaper tomorrow. Like if that story came out, if someone his mate had filmed you do that, like, could you imagine what could happen to you? As a result?
No, I'm not sure it would get that far. That's a hell of a lot different than some person sat on a packed tube going, "This is my fucking country. You speak my fucking language." No, that was like a faux pas, and I was you could tell by the look on my face, I was mortified. Well, at least I hope so.
There's some people that they're not like fully racist, they're like partially racist.
Yes.
And all those people, like, there's like 3 guys that I know, and all 3 of them have said to me, I'm going to vote UKIP, because, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. Like, I don't really agree with UKIP, but I'm going to vote for UKIP, yeah. But yeah, their immigration policy, I agree with that.
I think he's a mug, that Farage. I just don't know what he's playing at. But that whole, cap on foreigners, I think that's a good idea.
How can people still be concerned about this? Like, this is not a huge issue. The place is not, if I look at the street now, there's loads of room. There's no one out there. Like, it's not like you could go to somewhere like India and then, you walk around the streets and there's just people just lying around everywhere, homeless people. Like, London isn't like that, man. It's not like there's fucking people everywhere. You're getting hustled constantly all the fucking time.
I think the centre's pretty bad, but when I say pretty bad, still not bad enough to start banning people from coming here.
I think a lot of them get here and then after a bit they're like, fuck, and they leave. Like, this idea that everyone's here to claim on benefits and live the benefit lifestyle, I don't, a lot of these people come from nice sunny countries, like, Well,
a statistic I read in the paper the other day was apparently on net per year we're receiving 700,000 immigrants, but also 500,000 are going home, meaning 200,000.
Yeah.
Which for a country with a population of like 70 odd million people, not that bad.
No,
not that bad.
And statistically, it shows that they bring in more money than they're possibly taking out, in terms of what contributing to the economy and all this sorts of things by spending money here.
And like for every Romanian,
it's that kind of thing. It's
family.
Like, does it matter if they're English? Like, it doesn't matter which country we come from. It's just another dude. It's another chick. Like, they want to have a go. It's not like it's that easy.
The attitude, like, you haven't got to worry so much, I don't think, about people that live in large urban areas. People like us live in London, surrounded by all sorts of different humans. Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't really work like that in Shropshire.
Well, pretty much the rest of the country.
Yeah, and like those little suburban backwoods, like, I saw a thing a couple of weeks ago where a woman said she moved out of, I can't remember where it was, but she moved out because few too many Asians moving in. And they were like, really? What do you mean? Well, I haven't really seen them. I've heard they're coming. Because why wouldn't they? I mean, it's lovely round here. It's like, so these Asians,
they're invisible,
who haven't moved in and ruined your lovely bit, you're worried that the possibility of them moving in means you move to what? A more backwards bit of the country? They definitely won't move here. There's a militia. Like, I don't get it. There's weird attitudes up and down. That's the thing you got to think about. It's not just London, it's the entire country.
It's the entire world, man.
No, I mean the election.
Oh, the election
is just the entire country. So that means that bloke that you were talking about earlier, the old right-wing chap.
Yeah.
He gets a vote, and so does some idiot with a hoop in their ear that lives in Shoreditch,
Everyone gets an opportunity, and I'm not, I'll be intrigued to see who wins, but that's as far as it goes. How long is 20 days now or something like that?
20 days.
We're talking about 20. It was 4:20, wasn't it, Scotty?
Yeah, I celebrated a bit late yesterday. I celebrated at 7:20
7:20.
because I had work.
I had a joint around 4 o'clock before work, but it wasn't at 4:20. I couldn't afford to smoke that close to rocking up.
Hey man,
It was about 4 o'clock I had it.
Yeah, I heard there was a big thing on Sunday in Hyde Park.
Yeah. Well, lots of people turn up and they smoke a joint. I don't know how big a thing it is other than that, really.
It was huge apparently on Sunday.
Yeah.
And they're all the English wings of the pro-cannabis movement were there, you know.
Were there any protesters?
I didn't see anything
or
about
cops
protesters.
or
There was a
arrests or
shit
anything?
ton of cops, and there was about 56 arrests, mostly outside the park.
Yeah.
And I know a guy that went there yesterday, which was actually 4:20,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, there was thousands of people just sitting around in groups, music, smoking, police coming around going, 'Hey, put that out.' 'All right, officer.' When they get 10 steps away, light that shit back up. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, the theory is that you could do that every day. If everyone that smoked weed just smoked it outright, they couldn't really arrest everyone.
No.
They just end up confiscating everyone's weed.
Yeah. So be a policeman.
Yeah, your job would just be to go up to people and be like, right, give me that weed. And then pour it on the floor and be like, right, oh, there's someone else over there,
That's
fuck
hilarious. You could open it and smell it and go, "That's shit," and throw it back at them. Or be like, "Oh, I better confiscate this. This is naughty." Yeah, you could have your pick. I always thought I'd make a good bent copper.
it. Did you see that thing I sent you where it was like the awards for all those products? I sent you a
Yeah,
link.
you sent it to me at work, but I couldn't really fucking look at it.
Oh, really?
I opened it and it was like, yeah, High Times. Oh, you do like a banner on your website, don't you? You can leave some space without putting a weed leaf in it. No, all right. And then went down a bit and just saw the top of a crystally bud and was like, that's too rich for me. I'll get in trouble. That's
It had all the awards for all the different types of products. So, you know, edibles and, you know,
oh yeah,
just,
yeah.
you know, the whole spectrum. Like stuff I don't even know what the fuck it is, Scott.
I'll have a look. I definitely will, because
You got these hybrids, and some of it's crystallized, some of it looks like it's glass. I was like, well,
yeah, that's probably wax. That's what dabbing they call it in
What's
the
that?
States.
dabbing.
That's where you have like a glass bong, but it's like a super tempered glass bong. So it's something like you get in a laboratory. Like
Okay.
You have to put a blowtorch.
Do you get a Bunsen burner? I guess you
No,
could use a
you
Bunsen
need
burner.
a Bunsen burner wouldn't burn hot enough.
Right.
You need a fucking. Whenever I see people, it's those hand torches.
Yeah,
you know,
I know what you're
like you were
talking
doing a souffle.
Yeah.
Like, so you put this stuff. They call it wax as well. It's like the most super duper potent form of. It's just pure THC, like pushed down and crushed down together. You know.
Yeah.
Until it becomes this. Butane. That's how they extract it. They run butane over loads of weed, and that extracts the chemical THC, and then they burn the alcohol off the butane or whatever it is, and you're left with the THC. Anyway, science. Go look it up, motherfuckers.
That was when I was telling you when I was contemplating making DMT or whatever the fuck it's called. You have to extract it with lighter fluid.
Yeah, you have to
This
do
is butane.
Yeah. So then, like, you literally... There's loads of videos on YouTube of people that think they're brave. And they're like, dabbing, that shit, I've been smoking weed for years, man. I've been hitting the bong, like, put loads of that shit in. I'm like, okay. And 9 times out of 10, they hit the floor. Like, literally, it looks like they're having a heart attack and waiting out at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much. It's so much. It's like bong squared, you know?
Fuck you up good.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
But, you know, like, there is a weird thing to that where it's like, it's a bit...
Well, that's not really fun, is it?
No, and
Well,
it's
come
a bit
on, you know.
seedy, you know?
Well, it's a
I need
bit too. How
glass
far?
pipe with a fucking blowtorch.
Yeah, how far until you're chucking some God knows what in there? A bit of
Yeah.
meth, like, you
Just
know.
a bit of a smack, because it just doesn't... Yeah, I need that sleepy feeling. Yeah, it's all very crackish, which I'm not.
I think you're bad mouthing the crack too much, man. I don't think, you know, neither of us have properly tried it, so.
Yeah, well, I've tried it once and I didn't fucking like it.
No.
By accident. On accident.
Maybe you should explain more before people think you're a crackhead.
Well, yeah, it was once, and it was about... I was coming home from Acton, got on the 266. Well, actually, before that, I was at the bus stop, and a guy came up, and he was like, "Have you got a chip of cigarette, bruv?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." When someone says that to me, I think they're making a joint. So I was just happy. I was sat there with my mate, and it was like, "Hey, you're going to get a joint out of this. Nice." And he was talking, he was friendly enough, started rolling something. I was watching him out the corner of my eye and saw him putting loads of weed. But then I thought I saw him sprinkle something else in, but I was that pissed it could have been a tracer, you know. I wasn't thinking that way. So smoked it with him, got on the bus with him, and it wasn't until we got 5 minutes from my stop that he was like, "Man, that crack really makes a spliff moreish, isn't it?" What? And then just went home and paced for like 3 hours.
But do you think you were more just freaked out about the fact that you'd done it, as opposed to actually the effects that it was having on you?
Well, I was I was feeling like fucked.
But no, but you know instantly your brain, like you said, you go, "What? Fuck?" Like, you know,
Yeah.
so that will, obviously, that's the last thing you want to do when you're on any drug. Be like, "What?" Like I'm, you know.
I was on the bus with him, and I was
Coming up.
driving. Yeah,
Coming
that's what I
up.
was gonna say, yeah. I just literally finished it, and then like all the buses coming, and threw it away, and got on the bus with him, and was just having this really animated conversation at the back of the top deck.
Yeah, this is really what you should be doing when you just smoked a joint. You
Oh.
should still be sitting there going.
And that friend of mine that was at the bus stop phoned me the next day and was like, "Dude, what the fuck? What happened?"
You can say who that person is, you know.
Nobody knows him. It's
What,
fine.
what boys?
It wasn't Boise.
Was it not Boise?
It doesn't matter who it was. It was an old friend. Phoned me up the next day and was like, "What the fuck happened last night? What was in that thing we smoked with that guy?" Alright. I think he revealed to me on the bus there was crack in it, and he goes, "What? Is that why I was fucking going up and down my stairs and I puked all over the fucking place? Parents had to put me in bed, wipe me off. Like, I have to clean the fucking hallway now."
I know who it is now.
Yeah. It's a guy we know. It doesn't make any difference to the story. But
No. Are we going to congratulate Jimbo on having a kid?
I don't know. Are we?
Oh, well, you know.
I'm glad everything went well,
Yeah, of course.
but you know, and if anyone was going to take on some responsibility and probably do well at it, it'd be Jimbo. So no bad thing.
Nah.
But you know, I still weep for him on a purely like, dude, you like playing cricket and you like playing football, and how much of that do you think you're going to be doing for the next bit? You know, and I have practical concerns from my friend
Yeah.
that nobody takes into consideration. But
I'm sure he'll survive. He'll be alright, you know.
They'll be alright, but I think, you know, I think he should get more sleep than he's going to get. I don't think it's good for you to not get your full night's sleep. Or spend your money on shit that you don't eat. Well, he's got so much stuff coming that I just don't envy whatsoever.
No.
Imagine nappies. They cost £5, you get 6. They shit in them and you throw them away. And they go through like 5 a day. I'd just be looking at that thing, like constantly totting up what it's costing me.
What, in shit?
Yeah, like you're a direct debit on my life. I just can't miss a payment. If I miss a payment, you might die and then I get in trouble. Oh my God.
Alright, well,
welcome to the podcast.
yes. I'm going to be a dad for anyone that doesn't know, so this is filling me full of happiness and confidence. But we'll go to a nice song now to bridge the gap.
Oh, Liam's scared of reality.
Oh.
Hey, I'm just the doctor. I didn't make the needle sharp.
Why is marijuana against the law? It grows naturally upon our planet. Doesn't the idea of making nature against the law seem to you a bit paranoid? You know what I mean? It's nature. How do you make nature against the fucking law? Grows everywhere, serves 1,000 different functions, all of them positive. To make marijuana against the law is like saying God made a mistake.
I did just finish reading the book about The Room. If anyone doesn't know what The Room is, it's the best, worst movie ever fucking made.
What was that?
Classic. The Room.
The Room.
Yeah. I just finished reading the book about the making of it. It's one of the worst movies ever made. The guy is like this weird guy from Eastern Europe, and no one's really sure who he is, where he got his wealth, but he's obviously very rich. He says he's 36, but he's blatantly not. He's blatantly a lot older. No one's really sure of what his real name is. And he spent $6 million and made this film, which was just terrible and awful in every regard, but it's gained a big cult following.
Did he have long hair?
Yeah, he had long black hair.
Yeah, I think I've...
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
I think I've heard of it. I heard of it on Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, Tommy Wiseau is his name.
Tommy Wiseau.
And I just finished reading the book. Like, the guy who plays the lead actor, well, Tommy Wiseau plays that. He's the actor, the director, and the writer of this thing. But his grasp of English isn't great, and he writes all his characters. All his characters talk like he does, which is like weird, broken English. But they're American. It's fantastic.
They're just bad actors.
Oh, it's fantastic, dude. It's so funny.
What are you doing?
He's like, take your anger, put it in your pocket, or something like that. Crap like that.
Hey, man.
There's this scene where his wife to be is talking to her mum, and then suddenly she just turns over to her, nonchalant, and goes, "Oh, by the way, the test came in. I've got cancer," and then just continues talking, and it's never addressed again for the entirety of the movie. And she doesn't no one reacts to it, and she just says, "Yeah, by the way, the test results came in, and I've got cancer." And then that's it. It doesn't make any. But this guy obviously thinks he's got this. If you read the book about him, he's fucked up. He's mental. But he's got loads and loads of fucking money. I think he's a genius. I want to know everything about him. I like those oddball characters, man. He just tried to release a TV show, and there's 4 episodes of it. It's called The Neighbours. So it's like Neighbours, but it's called The Neighbours.
I'm guessing it's more serious, and he gets his end away with some very attractive ladies.
No, it looks dreadful, man. It looks like a fucking 10-cent operation. Like the trailer I saw and the stuff about the first episode. But I don't know. You think to yourself he must be doing it on purpose, but actually, according to this guy, nah, he's just
delusional.
Yeah, he's just absolutely mental. But a nice guy at the same time. Don't get me wrong. He's a nice guy. He's just eccentric.
Mm.
But we all are a bit, aren't we, Scott?
What? Not...
Eccentric.
Yeah, I suppose. In our own little weird, wonderful ways.
Would you consider yourself eccentric, Scott? What eccentric habits would you say you have?
I consider I'm weird. I'm not normal. But eccentric... No, if I was going to have one word to describe me, it would probably be arsehole.
Are you that much of an arsehole to people on a day-to-day basis?
No.
You're not an arsehole to me.
No.
I don't consider you an arsehole.
But that's because you're weird.
Oh.
You're not normal.
Oh,
I'm
not,
thinking
no.
about from a normal perspective.
Right.
From a normal perspective, I can be a bit of an arsehole. Because I always have a smart comment, and there's always... I don't know. There's a lot of self-hate here. And I think that's all part of the Catholic shit.
Yeah.
Thumped into my brain from when I was a nipper.
Yeah, I certainly...
I break it where I can break it down.
I certainly think it was a good thing that I wasn't raised on religion at all. Because I've got the sort of crazy fucking mind that it would, I have a susceptible mind. Luckily, it was opened up to the right stuff, and it made me into a good person.
Everyone has a susceptible mind when they're a kid. You're a weak little fucking thing that's
exactly,
look after me.
It doesn't take much to fucking send a young person down the wrong fucking track,
So you put your trust in these people, and then you realise, oh wait, they've been lying to me.
Well, it's not really lied to you because they don't think they're lying. It's a weird sort of thing that they're not lying to you because they actually believe it's true.
And my mum said she sent me to a Catholic school and all that. She was like, well, it was down the road and it had a decent reputation.
Yeah.
And that was all, that was all she was after, really.
And how Catholic was it?
Catholic. Well, it wasn't like the days of nuns, or where it was an all-boys Catholic school. But it's still weird. Still retarded. And I don't have that Catholic thing there, but
I guess you
it's
don't
in
know
the
what
background.
I was gonna say to you, like, explain how in what way it was different, but then I guess that's what you know from school, so you don't really know any different, do you?
Well, no. I remember sex in science was rather odd.
I think that's always odd. That's always weird.
We were asked to direct questions of a certain nature to our RE teacher.
Okay. Because
Which
usually the
was
RE teachers are renowned for being the most liberal guys out of all the classes.
Oh yeah,
because you got to teach different religions. Like you got to be a bit open.
Not in a Catholic school, you don't.
Oh right. Oh, so what did your RE teacher teach? Just R.
Funnily enough, no one felt comfortable asking Mr. Reed whether or not a girl liked having her boobs played with. And it turned out after I left the school that Scott Reed, who I unfortunately share the same initials with, and you can ask people that I went to school with, a few of them.
Yeah.
He was the strictest one there. Also turns out he was turfed out of Australia while he was training to be a deacon for allegedly fiddling around with
being a pedo.
Another really young deacon. So they got rid of him and they sent him to England, where he became a high school teacher at a Catholic school.
Yeah, of course.
Now, there was no fiddling going on in my vicinity, but...
Do you now look back on any things and think, oh, maybe that kid got fiddled?
Well, there was a weird rumour about him and a guy in sixth form.
What was the weird rumour?
They got caught in a cupboard, like, fiddling with each other. And you don't know how much of that is just dumb, like, boy stuff.
I don't know. I think,
no smoke without fire.
What was the kid like? Was he like a dweeb, or was he?
No, he was a weirdo that followed him around everywhere.
Probably true then.
Yeah. So, yeah. I
don't know. Obviously, I haven't been like around children that much, but I can't see what the fuss is about. They don't look that hot.
Well, thank God. It's on public record. Liam, not attracted to children.
No.
That's good. Well, no. How are you supposed to...
I was going to say something horrific there, but I don't even think I can even publish this on... No, actually, I won't publish this. Anyway, carry on. Taking things too far. I got to say it now, don't I?
Yeah, you do, go on.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just going to say, I do get excited when the kid's sitting on my lap, obviously, fucking bumping and grinding.
Yeah, it's no accident that I get a Santa job every year. Not only is the money good, the work day is lols. They're mega lols. Pedo jokes, always good. So, conspiracy theories.
Oh, yeah.
We've got to talk about them.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe we haven't yet. There's so many good ones, really. Man. The probably the oldest one, the one that's been going on for the longest, would be the moon landing, whether it was real or not. I'm guessing you watched that Channel 5 documentary back in the day where they went into it and showed you the flag was waving, and they showed you the lines on the photographs. Some of them are cut out by the image or some shit like that.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I mostly know about it from Rogan's podcast because he used to be a big... It was all faked, and then he found out some science, had a couple of smart people on, and changed his view on it quite a lot, and it was interesting to observe.
Can they show us a picture of it? Because that's the thing everyone's been asking for a long time, and
there are loads of pictures of it, but every single one's like, yeah, but look at that, man. And
where they take a picture of the moon and show it,
yeah,
from the top.
No, when they were on the moon.
No.
All
I'm
those
talking
NASA
about They were saying that they were going to map the moon, so you have like Google Moon, and then you'd be able to see every square. Because they can do it. They can photograph it from here,
I'm sure
and
they
you
could,
photograph it all, and then obviously people can look at the moon a bit better, and you'd be able to see. Hey, there's the buggy that they fucking deserted the first time, and there's the buggy they deserted the second time.
But there's all sorts of things like.
Why haven't they gone back as well? That's a big question. Why haven't they gone back?
Because it was socio-political.
Because
they were just trying to beat the
it's too
USSR, and
difficult.
they did. That's the only reason.
Have you talked yet about them going to Mars as well, and it being a TV show?
Oh, Big Brother in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds that sounds fake as shit.
I'm sorry, we just flippantly moved on from the conspiracy theory that the moon landing was fake.
The
There's
big
conclusive proof that it wasn't fake.
Yeah, but Kubrick did it, so he was so good that
of course, yeah,
he did. You've seen The Shining. You've seen the Jumper, Scott.
Well, conspiracy theories. You know what? That film's very close to my heart, and that is the dumbest conspiracy theory of them all.
The Apollo 11 T-shirt
Absolute.
jumper.
Oh fucking hell! Are you kidding me?
You don't think he did that on purpose? I think he did it on purpose because there was the conspiracy. So he was like, making a joke of it by putting that jumper into it. I think
Possibly.
he did that.
But I think it's very possible that a kid in 1980 would have that jumper as well.
Well, it was a big iconic event. Like,
it was a
someone had just gone to the moon. So he'd want to make a big deal of it because he did 2001 Space Odyssey. So it could be a tribute to what, it's a...
And they say he changed it from 217 to 237 because it's 237,000 kilometers to the moon. So that was an indicator and all that. No, it just doesn't. It just doesn't hold weight with me. I'm sorry. They filled up the spaceship with thousands of gallons of fuel. They measured that, and that rocket shot into the atmosphere, and it could be seen with the naked eye leaving the atmosphere. That's a hell of a hoax. If you shoot a rocket with people in it out of the Earth's atmosphere and then get them to just muck about for a few days.
Yeah, they were just in orbit. That's the rumor that they were just floating about, and then they just floated back down. And were like, yeah,
they were just wanking and watching cum in non-gravity because
they didn't have
hilarious.
the internet. They didn't have internet porn back then. They had magazines, perhaps.
Exactly. Do you think nobody masturbated before you jizz?
I think it'd be dangerous because you can't have fluids floating around in space.
It'd be hilarious though. He's like, don't, it'll get on me. No, it won't. Keep away.
That must have been done before, Scott, in some sort of space sex movie or someone. If that hasn't been done yet, we should do that.
Jackass in space. That'd be awesome.
I want to come in zero gravity all over your face.
Or like you just like, right, we're going to put you in that room with a blindfold, and you push him in, close the door, take the blindfold off, and there's just a bull.
Well, the other one, okay, then what about September the 11th?
Oh, inside job?
Inside job.
I don't think so.
No? The way the towers fell, the flashes.
That's a weird one. I don't understand.
The third building falling down. Like, that's the major...
Building 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one.
That did look like a proper demolition.
And
it
it
collapsed
wasn't
in the middle and then collapsed out, like, from the middle outwards. So every video I've ever seen of them taking down some dirty skyrise in Glasgow looks exactly the same as Building 7 coming down, crumbling in the middle into itself, controlled.
Yeah.
But I don't think... No, I think that was a bunch of religious nut jobs.
Well, I think they went too far with the conspiracy. I think perhaps the conspiracy is that they kind of could have had the intelligence to know that it was going to happen, and perhaps
they had
perhaps someone inside did know, and perhaps there was a conspiracy, but I don't believe by the top government officials, but by maybe people inside. If
you look at George Bush's face, because there's that famous video, he's in the classroom with the kids, which conspiracy theorists will argue, what a photo op, that kind of thing. But he's literally, you see the video and he's sat there and the guy just walks in and starts speaking into his ear, and I don't know, but I can kind of tell from the look on his face, he's like, Fucking hell. There are cameras here as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know exactly the scene you're talking about.
Yeah, where he's just holding his knee, like rocking back and forth while the guy's talking in his ear, and he's like, you can definitely tell there's a man getting some wild news,
Well,
while
look,
also trying to maintain.
The big thing is, if there was conspiracy, he definitely wasn't in on it. They wouldn't let him know. Like, you know.
Let's keep GW out of it, man. 'Cause we're still angry at him for letting the pigs in the Oval Office.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on anyway. Like, you know, keep it that way.
He said they were tame, but they just shat everywhere. God damn it! My favourite conspiracy theory ever is David Icke. You know David Icke?
Yeah,
His theory that the moon is a spaceship.
he's on Netflix, you know. David Icke.
Good. I want more people to watch David Icke. I really do.
I was watching it the other day. I only got 45 minutes through,
It's
but
fantastic. When how old was I? I was 20. I was in my early 20s, unemployed, but had money. So there was a point where I just smoked weed and watched 3-hour-long David Icke lectures, and just blew my fucking brain. Like, yeah, the moon is a spaceship, and the Illuminati, so like the royal family, all the heads, the Rothschilds and all that.
they're lizards. Yeah, lizards.
Now, you may think that's mad, but he goes on about it for so long that you kind of think maybe there might be something to it.
Or, you know, they haven't gone on Jeremy Carr and done a blood test to, you know, tell me whether they...
There's no proof they're not lizards.
Exactly. They've never come out and said, look, we're definitely not lizards, we're going to prove it right now.
Yeah.
You can have a look.
But not only are they lizards, they're interdimensional beings, which means you don't see them as lizards, obviously. You see them as the, you know, like Liz on the back of the banknote. But there have been people that have
Being able to see the truth.
expanded perception who have seen them in the lizard form.
Well, but they've been deemed mental.
They haven't been deemed mental, but they're not highly regarded. It'd be like me and you.
We're saying that we can see lizards.
I saw my friend at work turn into a rat. Right. They know I'm not mad.
We're not talking about rats, though. We're talking about lizards.
Okay, pick your species, you know. But they're my two favourites, and they both come from David Icke. And seriously, if you've got nothing to do and you've got loads of weed, I get it. You'll have a right laugh sitting down watching some of his shows. The ones where he like proves the Illuminati exists, like he proves that they're related to all the most powerful families in history. It's kind of like a history lesson.
Yeah, but I don't know
with
if
some mad shit on top.
But I don't know if Illuminati isn't just wealth. Like, so because they're the wealthy people, they're the evil people. Like, as a result,
The 1%.
yeah, they're the 1%, and they're all interconnected, because you wouldn't let some fucking hillbilly scum in. Even people that win the lottery and win all this money, they'll still not be allowed within the, you know, they'll just blow it all, and
They're not like a...
they're just people that won a big prize, and it's like, yeah, and then they enjoy it, and then probably eventually they'll see all their investments fail, and their families and their lineage won't carry on for generations, because it's not real wealth. Like, you know, you win 100 million, that ain't gonna last fucking eternity. Like, you got 100 billion in the bank, that's another thing. That's, you know.
They're not Rothschilds. They're not... Oh, I'm trying to think of those families, you know, like
The Barclays brothers, like, there's fucking tons of them, man. There's tons
that are worth more than you even knew existed.
Rockefeller family,
Rockefeller,
like,
that's another one, yeah.
fucking what's his name? Who's the other one that likes to shout a lot? The fucking, hi, yeah, I'm on the radio and I'm gonna fucking get angry.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones. I'm fucking Alex Jones. Like, he loves
I
that.
tell you people that the Illuminati's real. Chemtrails.
That's the other conspiracy, the one where they all go and do that fucking...
Oh, Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove, bruv.
All the most elite families in
Arnie's
the world.
been there.
And it's like pagan, where they have like human sacrifice and stuff to keep the evil spirits at bay. And then they have gay orgies, apparently, as well.
Well, apparently they don't actually do any of that anymore.
No,
like,
it's all symbolic now.
Yeah. The sacrifices aren't done on. I think they're done on animals or something like that. Yeah. But they probably were done on on people before. It's a bit too risky now. Everyone's got a fucking iPhone.
Yeah, as per many Alex Jones documentaries. Bohemian Grove, and it's just.
But like I said, of course they're gonna all want to meet up and do their own weird little shit. Like,
of course, they're very heavily invested in keeping the status quo.
what's the other
Because
one?
that's how they have their shit.
What's the other one? There's one. Simpsons where Homer joins them and the
That's supposed
Masons.
to be the Masons.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a secret society, but it's not really that secret.
There's conspiracy theory that there's like an underground like ark built underneath one of the major airports in America. It's like it's not JFK Airport, it's one of the airports, and there's this conspiracy theory that there's an underground base built for like the end of days, and then what's that fucking mental guy? Ventura goes. Jesse Ventura, he goes looking for it, so he goes to this airport.
Former Intercontinental Champion of the world.
And like senator of some country, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
even the senator of a country.
Sorry.
Fuck. He was senator of an state. I can't
A
remember
state.
which
It was
one
California or something like that as well. But yeah, he goes down to this airport, and then on the walls there are these murals of like people, like houses being blown up and like explosions and flames and fire. Like when he shows you that like these murals inside the airport, you do look at it and go like, what the fuck is this doing in the airport? Like, so apparently underground there's like, for the end of days. Alright, the other big one is what about that fucking tower that someone built that no one knows about, where it's got like all these like in different languages, this writing on it that says that the population should only be 500 million people.
Oh, the Georgia Stones.
Yes, the one.
Yeah, that's like a libertarian wet dream. Because it's like, the Earth's population should only be something like 600,000.
I thought it was 500 million.
Yeah,
which is still a dramatic drop in what we're at now.
7 billion.
Yeah, to 500
it's
million.
almost like, but it was proved like some rich libertarian dude just had it planted in the middle of the desert to satisfy his ego. That's what he thought the world should be.
Maybe he thought if he put it in there, someone would find it one day and do it.
Yeah, it was an ego thing, I think, and he didn't want anyone to know. But then when he died, it was revealed that he paid for it all and blah blah blah.
I thought it was meant to be someone famous.
Well, I think he was that rich. I can't remember who it was. That's how important he was. Yeah, I don't know him, so he couldn't have been that fucking important. Speaking of ego, it's that blue beer you poured down my neck.
What's it done?
It's made me egotistical, even more so than usual.
I know, they've all got a bit of humble truth in them. The thing is, when they talk about, it's when you talk about actual facts, and you tell
Evidence.
people, you tell people things that are true, and they say you're spouting conspiracy theories. That's what really fucking winds me up.
Like what?
Like when you say, America have been involved in more genocides than any other fucking country, like on the planet, and people will be like, no. That's just a conspiracy. You're mad. You're just spouting conspiracy theories.
Yeah, but that is fact. Like, they've helped decimate entire populations. They're not the only ones.
So have we, man.
Yeah,
so have we. We've done it loads. Like, we are the biggest supplier of fucking weapons in the world. So
you don't become an empire by shaking hands.
And we don't sell lots and lots of weapons to different countries if all these countries aren't trying to blow the shit out of each other. So it's in our fucking business interest as a nation that produces loads and loads of fucking awesome weapons to sell these weapons. Yeah. And peace is not going to be the answer to that.
You know what our country is now? We're no longer world players. We're no longer the leaders. We're not the big boys. What we are is equivalent to the old boy who grows really good weed in his greenhouse.
With the fluffers.
Yeah, like everyone used to respect him, but now they go to Amsterdam. They go to the hub.
Back in the day, but they'll always find us quaint, and they're like, oh,
Well, yeah, we got queens and princes and dukes and ladies, and I was reading an article today in the Evening Standard about some chick who owns Soho.
Ode Soho.
Yeah, owns
How?
the land.
Oh, really?
It's all hers.
What could she do with this?
The quote was, "Yeah, I own Soho." It's mad, isn't it? That was the quote. That's how much it means to her. But she probably just lives off revenue.
Yeah, from rent.
When she owns the fucking
Rent
land.
Boys. She owns the Rent Boys of Soho.
She owns it all. So I bet, what does Westminster government have to pay her a dividend? Like, you never know. It's like, fuck me, a landowner.
You know what we should do, Scott? We should pray for her.
Pray for her.
For 15 minutes. We should just pray for her soul, and maybe
Can I touch her?
Yeah, you can touch her on the knee. Touching on the knee's fine.
Lordy.
For anyone who doesn't know this stupid story, again, this is something that's in BBC News, but it's in BBC News for all the wrong reasons, because it's being pro-Christian. So it's saying the NHS has had a go at a bird and fired her because she was pushing her Christianity onto someone else.
A Muslim colleague.
A Muslim colleague, of course, someone that's from a completely different religion. Not even an atheist.
Well, she'd have no luck trying to convince an atheist. That's why you got to pick soft targets. So you pick another person that is, fantasy eligible.
But she gets, this is the thing about them, because they get found out, told off, and then they, and were sacked, and then they're told, right, they think in their brain, right, I'm gonna fight. I've got to fight for this, for the right to be able to.
They're trying to make me look mad, and they're not getting away with it.
Yeah, they're not gonna make me look mental, and it's like, look.
Said twitching in a corner, holding a crucifix.
I think that people, there should be more of a democracy. I think there should be, a debate. She can put a point forward, and 100 random people have to decide if she's mental or not. And if she's
that, can I be on the panel?
Well, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking, okay, so it's really difficult to fire people from work. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
What should happen is that if someone's really fucking annoying everyone else, but there's not enough reason to fire them, but everyone's in the general consensus, it should be like a democracy. You should be able to hold like a random, right, I vote.
A referendum on whether Kathy should be
turfed out of this fucking place, and everyone has to put their names in.
She's always stealing people's sandwiches from the fridge. I mean, what is that?
Yeah. But I think, to let businesses and deal with our shit, it's too long. Instead, it should be more of a mob mentality of, if you don't want to vote, you don't have to vote. Like,
that could work, it probably won't.
Could work.
I'm not sure I want to put random shitheads in charge of everything.
If you just wait, it'd be you. That's all.
Well, yeah. Like, Scott was really harsh. He said that you're not allowed to believe in an invisible man in the sky, which personally I find weird.
Yeah, to be honest, we are in the minority, Scott, so we'd have to be careful.
You gotta be fucking careful. Like, I had a conversation with a lady at work today where she was basically questioning me about my relationship.
Oh yeah, what she questioned you?
Always the same. Like, how long you been together? Excuse me. How long you been together? 7 years. So the next question is obviously,
why are you married?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And you go, well, I always say the same thing. I'm really I'm kind of weirded out about getting the law involved in my love life. And so people don't generally know how to answer that.
Well, no, because you've completely gone beyond a belief system. So it would be like someone saying to you, I don't believe gravity exists. You'd be like,
Yeah.
So that's what you've said to them. You're like,
yeah. So once they stop blinking at me, like, what did he just say? It's like, so do you want kids? It's the same conversation. I've had it 1,000 times. No. God, no. I don't want kids. Why not? Good question. I enjoy things like sleep and money, free time. I like free time. I haven't really done everything I want to do with my life, and I think having a kid would probably put the kibosh on a lot of that stuff. Oh. And then invariably they tell you that, you know, they've been married for 6 years and they've got 3, which is the wrong way round. Personally, I think you should tell me that, like, you should hold up a card or something that says that you're a breeder.
Well, yeah, no, it's like people are being religious about it. They're saying,
Yeah,
they're saying,
sanctimonious.
they're saying, don't you know, weren't you ever told when you were growing up that the key to happiness was a wife, a kid, a mortgage, and a house?
Yeah.
And a really, really, really great job. And if you get those 4 fuckers, you're fucking laughing.
Yeah, you're
like,
set.
and it's like, look,
My
just look.
experience has kind of taught me otherwise.
Well, yeah, the fact that people want to be celebrities and want to be millionaires shows that shit doesn't work. That's not what fucking people want. That's what people eventually take.
Yeah.
They're like, right, this ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna become a millionaire. I'm not gonna fucking do this and do that. I don't want to fucking die alone. Right, fuck it. Settle down, have a family, retire. But, nah.
I haven't got the energy to have imagination.
Yeah.
I know that life is an endless possibility, but I kind of like getting up at 7. It's like there's some weird bullshit.
Well, we all do it to ourselves every day, man. We all kill ourselves when we get out of bed and when we fucking wake up to this fucking reality that, we have the power to change it, but you don't have the power to change it because there are rules.
I've got to be in the office at 9.
There are rules, man. And the rule is, if you ain't got no money to buy no food, you ain't eating no food.
Yeah, that's the main kicker. Money, money just... If you ain't got it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You don't even need to have it. If you can't prove that you ain't got some coming to you soon, you're fucked. That's all anybody's interested in. You got that paper with that Queen's face on it? Well, yeah.
Charity will last only so long, man. People will, only help you for so long. Eventually you'll help yourself. Look, you can always sign on and fucking get some money out of it, but...
You won't get much.
Nah.
Especially if the fucking Tories get in again.
I think that's a good thing, man. I don't agree with benefits anyway. I've never signed on in my life, and I wouldn't.
I've signed on.
I don't need no fucking charity from anybody, man. I'm an able-bodied person.
It's not charity. I've actually put a lot of money in taxes into the system.
Mm.
So there is a part of me that's like, you know what? It's kind of fair for me to maybe get some of that back in the interim while I'm looking to get back involved in that shitty system. But when you see people that have there was a woman last week, Liam, that made me almost punch a wall.
Who was she?
I was reading the paper as well. She's on benefit. She gets £800 a month disability because she's fat.
Oh, this isn't the one that wants to go on the holiday, is it?
No, she wants the government to cut her a check for 10
for
grand
her wedding,
for her dream wedding.
Yeah, that's it. The wedding.
Her justification for that was everyone deserves a dream wedding.
No, not a fat piece of shit like you. No.
Yeah.
And did you see the picture of her and the picture of him? It's like, it ain't gonna be a dream wedding if you two are there. Like, you can make it the most beautiful fucking Beyonce wedding, but then you two fucking are there. It's not gonna be fucking a Beyonce wedding anymore, people. I'm sorry.
The first thing
your families as well.
The first thing that ran through my head was, we both know if you get 10 grand, you ain't spending it on a wedding. You're spending it on food. I cannot see her getting a check for 10 grand. And
well, she might spend about 8 grand.
Run into macro.
No, she might spend 8 grand on the buffet. Like, can you imagine what the rest of the family would look like?
Yeah, I doubt that.
Usually, this stuff isn't contained, man. There's not like it's not like there's like 5 normal sized people, and then they have an incredibly obese friend who just comes in every time.
Oh, it's Cheryl.
Incredibly obese people.
She's the reason we had to put locks on the fridge.
they just sit at home and get incredibly obese. Like there's no,
and they throw their hands in the air, going, "I don't know how I got like this." After their 6 can of Pringles.
I gotta say, man, for me, it is one of the most horrific things to witness. Like fat people, I don't give a shit about, but horrifically obese people that you know can't fit into one chair. Like they're looking around on the overground for the chairs that fold down, because that way they can sit on two.
They overspill. Yeah. Oh.
You're like, dude, like when you're that fat, and like how would you wipe your ass? Like there must be so much to wipe, because like not only do you wipe the top, you not only do you have to wipe the top of it, but not only does it have to come through, you know, your bum hole out of your thing, but it also has to pass through like 4 or 5 centimeters of skin, like leaving a fucking smudge shit stain before it leaves the ass.
The back of a bowl on a beer shit.
Can you imagine? So then you have to like fucking dig your hand in between all your flabby butt cheeks and like mush around in there for a bit to fucking try and like clean it inside. It's like sticking your hand in between 2 bean bags. Yeah, that's it. With a cloth.
I wonder how many of them do it and then like pull it up to look and go, "There's nothing on it. Oh, wrong flaps." Oh.
Or they're just like, "My hand is just completely covered in shit now." This didn't work at all.
What a state you would have to be in to get yourself to the point where,
I can't understand how they can afford to do it. Like that's the thing that boggles my brain. How can you afford to eat and get that fat, because you can't work and you can't get a job and you can't get that? I think it isn't like their food subsidized as like they need it to survive or something like that.
No, I don't think so.
They're not dropping crates from helicopters out of.
But again, I don't think this is like a predominantly London problem. Cause,
there's not that many fat people around in London, man.
No, because you couldn't. I saw
you couldn't. Well, getting on the tube
Reddit,
would be impossible.
I saw a woman. She was like, "I get £50 a week from the government, and once I pay my bills, that only leaves me with about 15 quid." And I was thinking, what kind of fucking bills do you have that 50 quid leaves you with change?
Yeah.
Seriously? Like, you must have like one radiator and you never turn it on, or you must have one telly and no lights and water. Fuck it. You still have 15 quid.
They're all subsidised as well, aren't they?
No. Well, she might get a housing benefit, which means you don't pay rent.
Does it make you bitter, Scott?
A little bit.
Oh, well.
I'm too sensitive. That's my problem.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wouldn't fucking worry about it too much, man.
I'm going to roll this joint.
Right, well, we got off track on the conspiracies a tiny bit there.
Well, we talked about our favourites. Are there any that really annoy you? That just like...
Oh, there's all the fucking Bigfoot Nessie ones. Like they just irritate me. Whenever you're like...
It's an animal.
Yeah, even if it does exist, who cares? Like...
So what, it's an animal that has somehow got ninja tendencies? So you can't track it down. We can put someone on the moon... Like we can't scan a lake to see if there's a fucking creature that's low, like 30 feet long.
Well, look, they'll tell you this conspiracy that, you know, they'll say to you, look, there's, you know, hundreds and thousands of species will be found every fucking year, and it's like, well, yes, but they're bugs and shit, like, you know, that's no fucking big deal. There's no one's suddenly been like, rare, look at this, there's something the size of an elephant we just fucking found. It's like, oh fuck, where have these fuckers been hiding all this fucking time? Like, you know, it doesn't happen, man. You know,
we got the Earth pretty much scoped.
Yeah, exactly. It's covered.
Yeah.
Like, there, you know, of course there are remote parts and there are deep oceans and stuff like that. And the oceans, obviously, they say it's like the space. Like we haven't been to the depths of it, but.
Oh yeah, there's some crazy shit to do with the ocean.
Like something like fucking Nessie isn't going to be living at the fucking depths of the ocean unless it's like
there are animals that have evolved like at the bottom of the ocean to withstand. They live next to like vents to the center of the Earth, so it's like nothing but hydrogen and You know,
Yeah.
like chemicals
Deadly
that no
gases and
life.
stuff.
Yeah, deadly gases that life cannot exist in. Life exists in them,
Yeah. But I still don't think that means
but we
Bigfoot's running
can't
around.
find a big monkey,
Yeah.
and you can't find a fucking 30, 40, 60, whatever it's supposed to be. You can't find that in a body of water.
And it's in
a
Scotland.
lake.
Scotland ain't that fucking big.
It's a lock.
Yeah.
It's thousands of deep, thousands of feet deep, and blah 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 blah. You ain't got sonar. Like you ain't. I
You
just
don't think it would have popped up once when someone's got a fucking decent camera to take a picture of it? Like,
the best they got is grainy footage of a long.
it looks like the sort of creature that would be out of the water a bit. It's meant to have a little fucking spot hole in its head, like, you know, for getting air. I don't know, that might be a dream.
You got to remember, these are the same people that bring you Jesus Christ. You know, he was a white guy with long hair and blue eyes and a really manicured beard. He was from Israel.
Do you reckon, like, how long you wait until, like, how much you lie to your children, maybe, has a big thing to do with it? Like, if you fucking maybe go over the board with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and you know,
You got
stuff
to
like
appeal.
that.
You got to appeal to the wonder, but I think it might be a bit damaging past a certain point.
Yeah, because you think to yourself, well, anything's possible. I think if you whack God in there, but you say, okay, God does exist. I think if you said that any one of them existed, well, obviously everyone would tell you it's not true. But when it's God, you know, if you look
That's
on
why you
if you
have
type in the
adults.
internet, does God exist? It's not going to tell you yes or no. You know.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
No one knows, so we're going to go with maybe.
But most likely not.
Probably not.
Not in the sense that anyone would tell you. Not in any of the teachings of any of the religions.
Yeah.
Does it exist? It exists within yourself. Like.
And if he does, he's a bit of a cunt. Let's be fair. He flips over immigrant boats. He sends floods to areas with loads of poor people. He's a bit of a cunt.
But he loves you.
Yeah, but he loves you.
so deal with
And
it.
You need to be completely on your knees. Yeah. And on that happy note,
We're off, man. Give it a fucking break.
give it a break. Give it a rest. Shut the
Give
fuck up.
Give it a fucking Kit Kat.
A break?
Wasn't that a Kit Kat? Break, Kit
Yeah,
Kat?
have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
There we go, see? Anyway.
Advertising does work.
Yeah.
That was from the 80s and it's still imprinted in my brain.
Yeah, so fuck you all. Good night.